It is hot in the city, even though I live in the suburbs on Comic Book Cannon. That's right. Sweltering 95-degree heat here on the East Coast. Unexpected, historic highs. Oh my goodness, the world is falling apart. But here we are on a Sunday night. We were on Friday night. Sunday night to talk all things comic books with an amazing guest. But before we get into the details of what we got going on, I just got to bring in my partner, my good friend and co-host of the Canon. That is Christopher. How goes it? How goes it, my friend? Yeah, you got the 2000. What's up? The Bud Light commercial. That's fantastic.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm all right. You know, we went out skateboarding. Me and my kids went out skateboarding yesterday, and my right knee is about twice the size as it was before yesterday. I survived. I made it. I'm good.
Listen, man, you put that work in, and it shows. Probably not in the way you wanted to show, but it shows. Before we start the show, let's get started here. Caleb Leland, what he says, Jeff and Chris, exclamation point. That is us. What's up? We got Spider Dude, Shadow Rat, X11 Bravo Comics coming from Vegas, Neil Floyd. Excuse me. We got Neil Floyd. We got, who else? Viper Guts, aka Viper GTS 75C to the G. Lowbrow Ephemera. Who else? We've got Jordan Nori. What's happening? Mojo Quid. What's happening? Chris. Solo Wookie. What's happening? Tony Trombetta. Good friend of the show and sponsor of Fresh from the Comic Shop. Man, what a packed, fun show we have tonight. Chris, we have an amazing guest. Bryan.
Yeah, literally amazing.
He's the amazing with Bryan McClay. Listen. And again, y'all better, he's starting fresh. He's starting a new YouTube channel. And I'm telling you, we are going to be canceling the can again unless we get to our goal, which we'll get to during that interview process. But why don't we just, Chris, let's just get into the news so we can meet Bryan. Because again, it is not guaranteed that Bryan will be a guest co-host, right? He's got to earn it. He's got an interview to, we have to conduct an interview. He's got to pass that interview for us to bring him on. And there's so many good benefits for him. Honestly, he's probably shitting his pants right now. I'm sure he's very, very, very nervous. But we're just going to get right into the news. And we had some good news. You know what I feel bad about, Chris, is that I feel like it's just been so Marvel heavy lately. But it is what it is. You know, it is what it is because it started off really nice, especially for you fans of Daredevil. That is right. An exclusive variety should excite all you Netflix Daredevil fans. That's me and Chris as well, by the way. As we know, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio reprised their roles as Daredevil and Kingpin in No Way Home and Hawkeye. That makes it official there in the MCU. Since then, the internet has been on fire with the hope that a Daredevil series will make a return. Variety has now reported that Matt Corman and Chris Ord are attached to write and executive produce such series. Corman and Ord most recently worked as executive producers and co-showrunners on the NBC drama shows The Enemy Within and The Brave, as well as the CW series Containment. Now, neither Marvel or reps for Corman and Ord have confirmed this story, but, I mean, Variety is a well-respected publication, Chris. Let me get your thoughts before I jump in here.
I am beyond excited. Look, Daredevil, that series on Netflix was my favorite out of all of them, and I'm very happy to see him come back. We obviously knew he was coming back after No Way Home. We knew something was going on, but to what capacity? So this is exciting. One thing that I hope they do now with it being on the Disney Plus platform, which I'm hoping that they do, because we know that Deadpool is going to be rated R, and we know that they got the Netflix shows on Disney Plus. I'm hoping they keep it the same. They got to keep it as grimy and real as they did. Now, here's the thing I want to point out. This is not a season 4. This is not Daredevil season 4 continuing where the Netflix series left off. Unless Kevin Feige says otherwise. Because as we know from what's been stated and what's been hinted before by Feige himself and everyone else under the Marvel Studios umbrella, these are different iterations of these characters. They are played by the same actors, but they are not in the same reality that they were in the Netflix series. So this will be a different jump off. You know, obviously, and without giving too many spoilers away, if you haven't watched the Daredevil series, but it seems that both Matt Murdock and especially Kingpin are in different places when we see them in, respectfully, Hawkeye and then No Way Home. If the Netflix series was indeed canon, we wouldn't have seen them show up like that, especially Kingpin. So look for something completely fresh, completely new from what we've seen before, but I definitely want them to keep that same tone, and I'm super excited.
I'll tell you what, that's going to be that question right there. Are the Netflix series part of MCU canon? That is going to be addressed right off the bat when they make the official announcement, or when they start doing press tours or what have you. Some concern. I mean, I don't have any concerns because for the most part, the MCU, aka Kevin Feige, has done a great job bringing on creative teams. I've never heard of Corman and Ord, but they've done some stuff. Worked for some pretty big names in NBC and CW. So I don't have any concerns at all. I'm excited about this to see. I just hope they keep the tone, the grittiness, the kind of the raw feel that these shows brought. And speaking of these shows in the MCU, we got a tease from Mike Coulter and Kristen Ritter. They both posted this picture on their respective Instagrams. And with this, LC plus JJ, that's Luke Cage plus Jessica Jones, equal big tease. Hashtag Marvel, hashtag the Defenders, hashtag Luke Cage, hashtag Jessica Jones. So that's fun right there. Who knows what it means? They're probably just having a good time. And I mean, shit, if you're an actor in Hollywood at this point, you would not turn down an MCU role unless you are well established. I'm sure these people want to come back. They look like they had fun, except for Finn Jones. Moving on though. Speaking of MCU shows, we got our first look at Echo. As we know, Echo, Daredevil, they're kind of intertwined, as well as Kingpin in the comics, and hopefully we see this throughout the show as well. That would be fun. That's right. Production has been underway with the Echo series, and we got our first look this week of Alaqua Cox as Maya Lopez. From Marvel, here is the synopsis, streaming exclusively on Disney Plus. The origin story of Echo revisits Maya Lopez, whose ruthless behavior in New York City catches up with her in her hometown. She must face her past, reconnect with her Native American roots, and embrace the meaning of family and community if she ever hopes to move forward. Chris, I enjoyed this character in the Hawkeye series. I'm excited to see how her story continues. Your thoughts?
100%. 100%. I'm very excited about this one. Just, their ability to bring this actress in with her, for those that don't know, she's really deaf, and she also is handicapped, because she's missing a leg. She has a what do you call it? A prosthetic, right? Prosthetic leg. So it's very true to the character and her ability and how she played this role in Hawkeye. It was one of the bright spots for me from that show. Although the show was obviously well-rounded and very well done. So I am very excited. Again, there's no negative anything that comes into my head when thinking about these shows that are being announced, at least at this point. We get trailers and all these things, then okay, we can start having maybe some question marks, which kind of foreshadowing what's to come here. But as of right now, I can't wait for a trailer and to hear more about it.
Definitely. I thought the way they brought her character and the way that she was portrayed, and the actress, I don't think she's had much experience with, something at this level, especially. Yep. And she was great. She was absolutely great. And I'm excited to see her story 100%. Before we move on to the next story, we got a variant going on here.
Uh-oh.
I don't know what. I mean, X11 Bravo gave fists back. I don't know. And then it sounds like you got some crazy shit going on at your place too. Maybe your variants of your family as well. I don't know. But anyways, we're going to move on to the next story. That's right. This story right here set the internet ablaze, Chris. Am I right? Ablaze. What do you got?
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And this is what I was saying when trailers hit, man. So we got a lot of She-Hulk action this last week. She-Hulk trailer and release date. We got our first look at Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters, She-Hulk, with the release of the first trailer for the Disney Plus show. It was also revealed that the show's title will be She-Hulk Attorney at Law. Cool stuff. It also appears that this show will be the longest out of all the Marvel Disney Plus shows with 9 episodes. So that's, for me, I think that's exciting. We get more of something, but it's going to be the first to see how something like this can really work, with 3 more episodes than usual. But we had a ton of CGI backlash. So now, not all fans were very happy with this trailer, though I think I watched it a few times. I enjoyed a lot of it. There was massive social media backlash about the CGI. A lot of folks taking part in Twitter and Facebook, mocking She-Hulk, calling her, Fiona from Shrek, which then became a meme, putting Fiona's head onto, still images of She-Hulk. So, look, for me, I watched the trailer a couple times. I took in the tone. That's the first thing I think we have to take in, and it's different. I laughed. I was kind of shocked. All these different kind of emotions. I'm like, okay, this looks fun. I'm excited. We knew what the tone was going to be. It's definitely here we go. Another Marvel Disney Plus show. Something different. The CGI. I personally think that there was some shots that looked better than the others, but there were some shots where I was like, ooh, like, okay, I get it, But for me, you never know, especially with CGI, if something's getting cleaned up and then we actually see it in the show and it looks different. But at the end of the day, I just think we are extremely spoiled. Yeah. Extremely spoiled. We are seeing a 10, 11 foot green creature on screen, and we're complaining that it doesn't look real enough, because now it's not about the quality of the shows and of the characters and of the story building. We have to be so perfect with the visual appeal because we are so spoiled. I think that's kind of what it boils down to here, so Jeff, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts, I mean, I was taken aback by the CG. I will admit that. However, I am not judging anything until I see this show until it airs. Because here's the deal. And I may be missing something. Chris, we talked pre-show about this briefly. Mm-hmm. When has Marvel ever let us down with any sort of CGI? Please tell me that. Because I can't remember anything. And maybe I am missing something.
Right.
But, I mean, this is a trailer. Trailer CGI, they do not put as much work into the final product. They have 3 months before this show airs. We don't know where they are in that, but they've done this so many times that they know what they're doing. Now, if the show airs and the CGI looks like this, it'll be distracting for me. But I enjoyed the tone. I enjoyed everything about this trailer. I'm super excited to see yet another take on our favorite characters. And another, because basically, she may be breaking the, was it the third wall, fourth wall, whatever that is. She may be, it's a comedy. That's how they describe this show.
Yep.
So I'm excited. So it didn't take, I was a little taken aback, but it didn't completely distract me from what we're going to be expecting to see. And there will be another trailer before the release of this show on August 18th.
Yes. Right after my birthday, man. So August is going to be a good month.
Yeah, Feige totally hooked you up, by the way. Totally hooked you up. And before we end the news, just want to make mention that we had yet another trailer, and I swear I had a lower third for that. But I'm excited about this because that's right. The Umbrella Academy had their season 3 trailer release this past week as well. And I am excited to delve into this alternative kind of timeline universe. It looks absolutely bonkers. Chris, did you enjoy the first 2 seasons?
I did. I think the second season, like there's, you got to really kind of pay attention. It's not something that you can't be, distracted on. You really need to understand what's going on from moment to moment. But I think, if you look at all the Netflix shows and, even the Prime shows. This is one of those that has been just extremely well done, all around.
So much fun. This, again, we cover a lot of Marvel stuff here. Wish we cover more DC, but we do have some great indie shows such as Umbrella Academy, The Boys, et cetera, et cetera. Guys, it's a great time to be a fan. We never thought we live in a day and age of this. I know I speak for you, Chris. I speak for, Bryan McClay, our upcoming guest as well, because we lived through the era of this. I got to bring this comment up here. Mojo quid, people complaining about the CGI as if Marvel fans haven't survived the trial of the Incredible Hulk. I don't know if y'all remember that TV movie with Lou Ferrigno and that Daredevil, but holy shit, guys, we are in a much better. I mean, you can't even keep. Chris and I talk about this. You can't even keep up with the amount of content that's coming out. Again, it's an exciting time to be a fan. Just everybody, just appreciate it.
Let me say this. It's okay to be critical, just like I was saying, Moon Knight flying in the Moon Knight show. That seemed a little, but just if you are critical, don't let that take away from enjoying the substance of the show. I could sit here and say, oh man, yeah, that's CGI, but enjoy the show. Don't be so focused on the surface stuff, the fluff, so to say, because at the end of the day, that doesn't matter. If it's good quality storytelling and entertainment, then let's be entertained.
Well said, well said, well said. All right, everybody, that's the news. We'll have hopefully some more news. We will definitely have more news, actually. We're going to have 2 weeks of news because Chris and I are taking off next week. Remember, every month that has 5 Sundays, we take off on that 5th Sunday and keep the Fresh from the Comic Shop honest here, right? Anyways, we'll get into that a little bit later, but we got to just jump in right now and, bring on our guest, our potential guest co-host. Y'all know how this works. That is right. Please welcome everybody, our next guest to the show. He's been collecting comics for over 35 years and is now a fantastic YouTube personality that you should know with shows such as Modern Comics Man, Wednesday Night Review, as well as being a co-host on CBSI's Top 10 show. If you don't know Bryan McClay, then shame on you. Everybody, please welcome Bryan McClay.
Sorry, guys. You guys about shit. You guys about shit
done.
For a second. I saw it.
Well done. We were a little bit confused there, man. Thank you so much for joining us, and thank you for taking the time to be a guest co-host on the Canon. We know there's a lot of pressure going on. You kept emailing Chris and I nonstop during the week. What should I wear? Should I take a shower? Are you going to provide me with a meal? Those kinds of weird questions that we don't usually get, but we are happy that you are here.
Yeah, it was nice. It was very unexpected. So you got to take a shot. What is that saying that you miss all the shots you don't take? So
exactly,
hey, man.
And listen, you're here, and that's the most important thing. Let's see how far you get, though. Before we get started with this interview, tell us a little bit about this new channel that you're starting, because I just want to make mention, everybody. It's down in the description. You can tag people now on YouTube, or maybe you've been able to do that for years. I just realized that now. It says we have the amazing with Bryan McClay. That's Bryan's YouTube channel. Click on there. Please subscribe, because Chris, let's just get this out of the way too.
Yeah, let's do this.
Bryan's working towards 1,000 subs, and he's at
789. So we're gonna get him to 800 tonight, or this is it. We're done.
We've done this before. You all know how this works. If we do not get Bryan, the amazing with Bryan McClay, to 800 subs,
800.
This is the last Canon show ever.
Last show.
It's been great. It really has.
Yeah. I appreciate that. I appreciate that, you guys. I was over at Tales from the Flip Side for a long time. Shout out to those guys. Really appreciate those guys. And made a lot of content over there and kind of fell in love with doing this stuff. So that's why I want to spend as much time as I can doing it. So that's why I had to apply over here. And now I'm on my own and having a lot of fun, doing a lot of cool stuff, talking about comics, talking about collecting, talking about nostalgia, talking about, real life every once in a while, which we all need to do. And I'm excited for it.
By the way, McClay in the house, Mojo Quid said. So he's
Amen. What up, Mojo?
Yeah, listen, again, if we don't get to 800 by the end of this show tonight, sayonara. It's been great. Chris and I are going to sign off with Bryan and ride into the sunset.
Well, good news. We're already at 795. So good job, guys. We got
Yeah,
5
There
more
we
to
go.
and
Keep
we're
it
happy
rolling.
again getting it over 800. It could be 805.
Oh, yeah.
We wouldn't have
right.
a problem with that.
Oh,
Not
yeah,
at all.
no doubt. No doubt.
So let's make this happen. How about that? All right, now we're gonna get into this interview now. I hope you're well rested, well fed, and ready to just be honest is the most important thing. So
Yeah.
Here we go. Chris, I guess we'll just start off with you. Actually, I have the third question. You have the first two.
Okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. All right, Bryan, here we go. This is where it counts, man. So we are now in full-fledged in a baseball season here, and you get down with some baseball, right?
Oh, I love it, man. I'm a sports guy. I grew up collecting baseball cards and sports cards. So hell yeah.
Yep. Awesome. Okay, so you are from Phoenix. Don't know how you do it. I mean, it's like summer here from May to October, and I can't even take this. I couldn't do Arizona, but
Yeah,
I'll tell you. I'll give you a quick
power
tip. You turn into a vampire during the summer. That's the only way you can do it, bro.
I bet. All right, so here we go. We got some Arizona Diamondback greats. We're talking pitchers here.
Okay.
All right. We got Zach Greinke or Madison Bumgarner. Who are you picking? Zach Greinke, when all things matter. Zach Greinke, Madison Bumgarner.
Bumgarner all day, baby.
Oh, he's a keeper.
He's a stud, man. He's a stud. Listen, I like a guy that is honest and that he shows what he is. He's got a little bit of a chip on his shoulder, and he's the same every time. And that's what Mad Bum is. He's the same every time. He's Mad Bum, and he doesn't take any crap. I like that too. Yeah, I'm Mad Bum all day. Even though I like Greinke, but we shouldn't have traded Chisholm for Greinke. I'll say that.
Yeah, I hear you, Jeff. Look, Jeff. Just so you know, Madison. I named my cat after.
Oh,
Madison
I did not
Bumgarner.
know that. I did not know that.
He was a Giant, obviously. Greinke was a Dodger. I got much respect for Greinke.
That's why.
But
Well,
here's the thing: Bumgarner has, from when he was like 19 years old in that 2010 World Series run, he has one of the greatest World Series pitching career records, not just World Series playoffs.
Oh yeah, stud.
Than anyone in history. If you throw in Sandy Koufax, Christy Mathewson, you throw in all of them over the last 150 years. And that's why I'm taking Bumgarner over Greinke as well. So, Jeff, I
apologize. I was thinking you were talking about the new kid that's here that we traded Chisholm for, not Greinke. Look, don't get me into Greinke. That guy is he's next level, out of the park type craziness. But I will say I still choose Mad Bum over Greinke. I choose Mad Bum over anybody on the Arizona Diamondbacks pitching staff in history other than Randy Johnson.
There's been some Randy Johnson comments
Absolutely.
Here. So here's the deal. Like, I feel like I don't have a say in this because, like, Greinke played for the Dodgers. Bumgarner played for the Giants. You hate the Dodgers, Chris. So this was all you. Like, I couldn't. I'm a Phillies fan. I couldn't interject on something like this because it's kind of out of my realm. Because it affects it affects your world specifically, Chris. So we're gonna move on. That's a good answer right there. But we're gonna have to move on to the next question, which is not gonna be sports related. Okay, Bryan?
All right, here we go. I've been to both of these places. Great part of Arizona. Arizona. I know a lot of us hate the heat, but some great things there. So what you picking? Grand Canyon or Sedona Red Rocks?
Oh, I'm Sedona all day. Those are my peeps. Those are my peeps up there, man. I could go hang out with people in Sedona. I could live there, man. I could pull that one off. I think it might be a little rough, but I could do it. And you want to hear something even crazier? I'm pretty close to being a native here. I've been here all my life except for 4 or 5 years. I've never been to the Grand Canyon.
Wow.
Not once.
All right. Well,
I mean, Jeff, this was one that was like this was the softball question.
It really was.
He shot himself in the foot.
Listen, he would have done okay if he just didn't mention that one fact that he has never been to the Grand Canyon. Like, I'm okay with him and the reason he chose Sedona.
Yep.
But the fact he'd never been to the Grand Canyon, sorry everybody, but we will not have a guest co-host tonight. No, we've kicked people off for much worse. Let's just
Yeah.
Gotta get through the rest of this interview.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable, Brian.
Yeah, it is what it is, man. But I'll go hang out with the booth of all various toads in Sedona. So
here's the deal. I appreciate your honesty. Please continue to be honest. Because
that's
we have
me,
more
baby.
questions to go here.
That's
okay?
me. I gotta.
All right. This is a big one. You have a wonderful mane of hair. Like, your hair is amazing.
Thank
Especially
you.
in that the amazing with Bryan here. Look at this. I mean, Chris.
Yep.
You like that?
The head of hair right there.
You like that?
Yeah, you got to take care of it. There are things obviously I'm a hair expert, as you can see.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your hair, right? So that being said, what is the best shampoo on the markets?
All right. This is going to sound crazy, but you can't get it in the store. You got to go to like the high quality hair places.
Of course.
But it's called Bio Matrix, I think it's called. But that stuff's great. But you know what is the best? That coconut oil shampoo and conditioner. That is the best right there.
Chris, I can't believe. I'm sorry, but yet again, I mean, the correct answer was right in front of his face, because according to Rolling Stone, Huron shampoo has everything you want and don't need in a shampoo formula. Made for the men's market, it's clean with no sulfates, parabens. I don't know what that is, Chris, which are chemicals that also cause similar issues to sulfates, silicons, phthalates, and aluminum. It's vegan and cruelty-free too, so you can feel confident that your purchase also accounts for minimal environmental impact. The packaging is 100% recyclable as well. This creamy shampoo is made to wash away daily sweat, oil, and flakes. It strengthens the hair, increases volume, and restores shine. So obviously, Chris, that was I mean, everybody knows this.
Yeah, everyone. I mean, it's like
best shampoo on the market. So
the best.
I don't know here's the deal. We got to bring him back on, and this is why, Chris, because even not using the best shampoo on the market, his hair looks amazing.
I don't know how he does it.
That's our reasoning right there.
Yeah,
that's lucky, Brian.
Yeah. Well, I gotta say I lied. I apologize. I lied. I don't wash my hair. It's never.
Here we go.
It never gets dirty, dude. Never gets dirty.
I don't believe that for a bit. He lied again. No, okay. We're gonna bring him on because we got some good ones here. We're finishing out. We're rounding out here. Chris has the last two, and these are pretty solid.
All right. Well, so Jeff, I think it was last show. I gave away the origin story of my rap name, yep. Oni OZ, Oni Ounce. Mm-hmm. A lot of that had to do with the green sticky icky, man. You know, so although, you know, I have put aside the herbal essence, you know, for a long time now, although there are moments that I miss it. Brian here really enjoys dabbling into the, you know, the herbal realm of things. So as a hip hop fan myself, and Brian, I know you get down with some hip hop, and being a herb friendly enthusiast here, what is the best hip hop weed song? We got 5 on it from the Loonies.
That's it right there. Don't even go any further.
Well, you know what? Here's the thing. The other option, because there's so many great ones. There is.
All right.
The other one was Buddha Lovers from Bone Thugs. And you got to give love to Bone Thugs because they have some great weed songs, man. But Brian, you know, Loonies coming out of Oakland. I was born in Oakland.
Hey, I'm a Bay Area fan.
Yep. I remember the first time I was in my mom's car after school. She was picking me up. She went somewhere. She went inside, and we had the radio on 106.1 KMEL. And the first time that song ever hit the radio, when that beat dropped, like it was just there. I'm telling you, man, that song goes beyond weed songs. That song is just a classic. And then you got the Posse cut, you know, with 40.
That's my favorite.
Spice One, and
that's my favorite. That's my favorite right there. I'm a Spice One fan. I'm a Drew Down fan. I'm all those guys. Hey, listen. All right. Top 5 Bay Area hip hop artists. You ready?
Yep.
E40, Too Short, Rappin' Forte. And can you throw Tupac in the Bay Area? Because that's absolutely Tupac, right? And here's another one that is kind of hard to throw in the Bay Area, but you can a little bit too. Master P, right? Richmond, California. Isn't he from Richmond?
So he moved to Richmond from New Orleans, where he was originally from. And he's a businessman, man. You got to give him credit for what he did, because he really revolutionized the compilation. And in the early 90s, he was pulling people together from Frisco, Oakland, Vallejo, Richmond, creating all the West Coast Bad Boy compilations. And he was showing people how to handle business, man. So
yeah.
He also tried out for the NBA as well.
Yeah. Yep. I know he's done everything.
Hey guys, I have a confession to make.
Yes.
I don't smoke weed, and I've never smoked weed, so you're probably gonna want to.
Yeah, let's continue this without him.
Look. To each their own, man.
Amen. Man.
All right, that's what, that's fair. Thank you guys for taking me in as me and appreciating me for who I am. Now we have one final question, Bryan. This one is huge.
This is it.
Huge.
All right, here we go. Now, I know you already shot yourself in the foot saying that you ain't never been to the Grand Canyon.
Oh, God.
Let me ask you this. Your K through 12, was that in Arizona?
Yes.
Okay. All right. There's no excuse for you here then. Because this is
look at his face. He's like, holy shit, what's going on?
The school systems throughout the state of Arizona. Here we go. What are the 5 C's of Arizona?
Copper. Climate.
Okay.
Cactus. Right now, cannabis.
We'll give him that. We'll give him that, Jeff.
I mean, it's been a while since you've been in grade school, I guess.
Yeah. And cotton. I know Arizona was a big cotton.
Okay. I got it. We got it, Jeff. We got to come together. We got to huddle up here. Okay. You got copper, climate. He said cactus. Can we throw there's one in there. Can we throw cacti or cactus in with the one that
I've never lived there. I don't know.
Swirl cactus only grows in Arizona.
I'll tell you what. Here's the thing. It was citrus, but we're gonna pull that aside. We're gonna give you cactus and cannabis. But
good cannabis smells like
volunteer citrus. Collector Charles Barkley.
We gotta give you. You gotta give us one more. We're kind of giving you a pass here.
Oh my God, you're getting a huge bet. We don't treat people like that.
Yeah. So we got copper. You got cotton, citrus. Cotton, citrus, which we're giving you the pass for, and climate. There's one other C.
Said it, Chris.
I don't know. Canyons.
He said it, Jeff?
I'm scared to say it, but I think he did say it.
Oh, yeah. What did I say? I said cotton.
Mm-hmm.
I said citrus. I said climate. I said copper. And I said one more.
I'm going to say it because I think he did say this. Cattle.
No, I didn't say cattle.
Oh, what? It's been nice. Failure, man. We can never get somebody who just aces this interview. And we've come to a point where we just settle on things, right? And we're better than that. And I'll tell you what, he knows his shit.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Brian, I mean, that was pretty solid, man. And to get creative and throw the cannabis in there too.
Yeah.
I'm a little disappointed in your answer for shampoo, but you have become our most recent guest co-host on Comic Book Canon. Congratulations. you will be eligible to receive the Comic Book Canon varsity jacket that we will probably never produce, ever. But if we do, you'll get that. And
one of these days,
maybe you'll make it to the Comic Book Canon Hall of Fame. We only have 2 members, and I can't remember the names of them. But anyways, but congratulations. We're moving on with you as a guest co-host. This show is yours as much as it is ours. So have at it, man.
What, Jeff?
What's that?
Perfect timing to celebrate even more. He made it. He made it. Guest co-host with 800 subscribers.
Oh, thank you guys. Thank you.
Keep subscribing. The link
Much
will be
love.
down below. He's also got some. Oh, by the way, how can I forget this? We've also, he's also now he's got it in his lower. Let's just make it larger. Please follow him on Instagram as well.
Yeah.
Great content all around. But enough about you. The show isn't about you, Bryan. It's about comic books. Let's just do it. Because, Chris, right now, we're going to do a fun segment we do each and every week. Top 10 look back props or flops. Chris, explain to the fine audience what this segment is.
All right, guys. Every week, we know that coverprice.com, big shout out to Cover Price, they release a top 10 list. They take this list by sales data. All right. So in terms of units being sold, what's moving on the market, we are now 1 week out from the most recent list. So I picked 3 books off of that list. I show you guys the sales data of when they were moving to make that list. And I actually compute real-time data as of today to show you what they've done over the last week. And then I give you, or I give them props or flops and explain to you why I give either props to the book or I think the book might just be nothing worthy other than flops.
And we want you guys to participate in the comments as well. Props for the issue Chris is talking about or flops. Feel free, have at it. Tell us why too. Very important to have your interaction with this this segment. And obviously, Bryan, we need your opinion as well. So, Chris, we're going to get right into it. But before we do, let's just go over the top 10 hottest comic books from Cover Price as of last Monday. Here we go. At number 10, we have Spawn 9, the first appearance of Angela. A lot of rumors out there saying that she may make an appearance in Thor, Love and Thunder. That would be great to see, by the way. A character from an indie, well, technically an indie book, especially when she was introduced, an Image in the 90s, making her way into the MCU. I think that's cool. Anyways, at number 9, we have Spider-Man 2099, number 1. At number 8, we have Batman Beyond the White Knight, number 1. I'm surprised that this continues to stay in the top 10 list. At number 7, we have Paper Girls, number 1. I think Amazon has greenlit the series, or there's a trailer out. Can't remember. At number 6, we have New Avengers, number 7. At number 5, we have Thor, number 1. At number 4, we have Grimm, number 1, the Jay Lee and June Chung variant. At number 3, we have Grimm, number 1, the Dave Johnson Virgin 1 per store variant. At number 2, we have Secret Wars, number 1. And at number 1, we have Fantastic Four 245, the first appearance of Franklin Richards as an adult. This it's a bit more diverse than we normally see, correct, Chris and Bryan?
Yeah, you got some indies on there. That Batman Beyond man is sticking around. I didn't expect.
I like it. I like it. The Murphyverse. I like it.
Yeah, I agree. Sean Murphy's a badass.
Yeah, all about it. But Chris, I don't know if we're going to talk about that book or not. So just walk us through this.
Yeah, let's see. Well, it's definitely not book number 3. Book number 3, Spider-Man 2099, number 1. I might cause some controversy here today, folks. But let's bring it up.
I'm going to bring it up. I hope. It didn't load. Just start talking. I'll get to it. I promise. I'm
just pretending that we froze.
Oh, yeah. Do that. That's the way to go, for sure. Oh, this is awkward. We can't continue doing this, Chris. All right, go.
Okay, here we go.
Weird.
That was awesome. That's gonna hit the clip reel. Hey, like Shaq's Shaq'd in a Fool.
Shaq'd in a Fool.
All right, guys. Spider-Man 2099, number 1. Okay, I'm gonna get into the controversy right away. I put this information together, so this is on me. If you look down there, what does it say? It says the first full appearance and origin of Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099. Yes, I put first full appearance. That's on me, folks. That's my opinion. Nobody else's. It's not Cover Price's opinion. It's not Key Collector's opinion. It's nobody else's but mine. But I'm going to talk about why I'm stating that this is his first full appearance. And I'm going to tell you why it's going to impact whether I believe this book is a props or flops. But let's look at these numbers. 130% upward trend in sales when it hit the top 10 last week. And last week, when it hit that top 10, it had a high 9.8 sale of $199. This week had a 9.8 sale of 186. So, not much difference there, just $13. Not too many 9.8 sales over the last, good couple of months. But the 6-month rolling average is roughly $240. So this is kind of dipped down a little bit because I think when you take into consideration when the trailer dropped for not Into the Spot, but what's it called? Not Into, but oh man, what's the new one called?
Isn't it Into the Spider-Verse? Isn't that what it is?
Not Into the Spider-Verse, but
Part 2, Into the Across the Spider-Verse.
Across the Spider-Verse.
Yeah,
there we go. Thank you. Part 1. We got the trailer. It boosted this book up. So what have I talked about as of late? A lot. We know how the spec market via live action properties is going right now. It's been crazy. Anytime we get an announcement, a casting, and this is nothing new, but I've talked about over the last 6+ months, it's been even more intense and volatile, so to say. So this price point kind of jumping down from that 6-month rolling average isn't a surprise to me. And it doesn't necessarily say that, oh, this book is tanking or anything like that. It's just the natural ebb and flow of the intense, volatile live action spec market. Now, this isn't live action. I do apologize. This is animated, but we're putting it in that same category for the film properties, right? I have a feeling that when this film, if we get another trailer, we get closer to the film's release, we'll probably see maybe an uptick again in the price a little bit. And then you never know what happens after these movies hit. We could definitely see a bump immediately if people come out of that show and Oscar Isaac behind this character, did an amazing job. Now people really want to go find this book. But then, of course, as the movie passes 6 months after and so forth, they can see some more dips. But that's normal, right? Ebb and flow is normal. Average raw books. Last week's average raw when it hit the top 10, 17. This week, 16. No real change there. We all know that Amazing Spider-Man 365 with the hollow cover, the 30th anniversary, is considered to be the first appearance of Spider-Man 2099. Now, why is that? Because it had I believe it was a 5-page, don't quote me, I think it was a 5-page sample preview of this book in the back of it. Now, let's look at what that book is, because it's an anniversary issue. It had the main story, the continuity story, and then it had a couple of side stories that were actual new stories that were just in that book. They weren't pulled from somewhere else. They weren't samples or previews from somewhere else. They do that in anniversary issues. And then after those, you add this sample preview. Now, I don't argue against that book being a first appearance, because while it is a preview, it is a solicited newsstand magazine. And when I say newsstand, I don't mean market like newsstand versus direct. I mean, it was a published, price tagged comic book from Marvel that was put up on the newsstands or in your LCSs with a $175 or whatever it was sticker price on it. That's a bit different than a previews magazine and calling that a first appearance. So I get that argument. But for me, context still matters. For me, that is still a preview, and it was still a preview of this book right here, where in actual continuity, this is where we see him for the first time. For me, I think the market needs to evolve on this. I think the market needs to evolve. And I'm not saying don't call ASM 365 a first appearance at all. I would call it Spider-Man 2099's first appearance in cameo via preview. And I know that's a lot, but context matters. First cameo appearance in preview. There we go. Just like that. First cameo appearance in preview, which would continue to make this book right here the first full appearance. Fight me on it. I don't care. Now, will this ever change? If people start thinking like I'm thinking and saying, well, I like that labeling, so I'm going to value this book as well. Is it ever going to drive the value of this book higher than 365? It would be hard for me to believe so, because first off, it's been on the market for 30 years, and these labels have been kind of what they are for a very long time now, and it's hard to change what's been set in stone, not necessarily set in stone, but in our minds, right? From precedent. But I think there is enough there to bring more attention to this book, to solidify this book as a bigger player than what it is right now. And I'll go back to saying this, guys. The market doesn't drive the labels, meaning a couple books come out like Hulk 180 and Hulk 181. And oh, look, the market valued 181 more, so let's just label out a full appearance. That's not how it works. What decides the label should be the context of the material, should be the context of the book, and then we should look to textbook definitions and precedent to decide and determine and define the labels. There are times where the market will monetarily value a cameo more than a full appearance, but it doesn't change the fact that it's still a cameo. So what I'm trying to say here is this, though. If at any point in time the market did value this book more, it wouldn't change the label. And just because the market values 365 more, it's not going to change the label. But labels can determine the market. And that is what I believe has gone on with this book, because the labels were set saying that 365 was the first appearance without any other context, with not even calling 299 any type of full appearance or anything. We as collectors look to the cover prices and the key collects and the gold collects and the Wizards and the Overstreet and the CGCs and the CBCSs. We look to that. Sometimes we don't even open up the pages of a book to decide for ourselves. Sometimes all we're doing is looking up these databases and they're saying, oh, this is the first appearance of Spider-Man 299. I'm going to now determine how I monetarily value that book. And that's what I believe happened with this book. So I'll end on this note, because I got to give this book a props or flops. I'm going to give this book props. And again, I'll always state this. I'm not paying $200 for this book in a 9.8. I'll pay $40 for this book in a possible 9.8 grade and ship it off. And if it comes back at 9.6, I still don't care. But that's just me. I give this book props, though, because I do believe there is more inherent value in this book than people realize, because all we're doing is group thinking on the labels that were already determined by industry players to say that ASM 365, without any other context, without a preview context, without a cameo context, etc., is indeed the end-all be-all first appearance of this character. I think more people will start realizing that, although that, like I said, that may never change, I'm seeing this as more of a full appearance. I might value it a little more in the long run.
Now, before we get to Bryan's opinion here, we want to hear your opinion in the comments, props or flops on this issue right here. Spider-Man 2099, number 1. So, Bryan, have at it, man. Props or flops on your end, and why?
First, I want to say I agree 100% with what Chris said about the preview aspect of that book. Look at some of the other previews that are out there. Look at the He-Man preview. Look at the Sonic preview. Those aren't called first appearances, and they preview the exact same thing in some of those first issues.
Strange Tales.
Yeah, Strange Tales. There's a lot of those books.
Oh, Strange Tales. Sorry.
Yeah.
Strange Academy.
Strange Academy. So here's my problem with all that, as I feel like, and I didn't feel this way until recently, I feel like we get so caught up in cameos and first fulls and origins that I think we need to get rid of that word cameo. I don't like the word cameo. I wish we could just go with, and another important thing that you said is that there needs to be a standard, right? So let's make that a standard. First appearance, and then a first full appearance. I'm cool with that. But yeah, we definitely need to figure that out. But I will say on prop or flop, I'm prop on this 100%. That particular book might not be the most valuable first full appearance, but that character, he's in a weird realm where there are books of his that are spectacular and worth way more than his first full appearance. And lots of them, right? There's so many good Spider-Man 2099 variants. There's the people love the action figures. The design of that character is amazing. Like there's certain characters when you look at them and you see their design, you instantly like them. You don't care anything about their story. They just look cool. That's very important. So that's why I'm with prop on this one all day. I love that book. And hey, I'm a kid that grew up buying that book off the shelf. That foil is I'm always going to show love to the foil.
And Peter David, again, and Jeff, we've been talking. I mean, Peter David's name has been brought up recently a lot, man. Just a great run, amazing.
Peter David is I think he's an underrated writer. His run on the Incredible Hulk in the 90s was outstanding. But him coming up with this character as well. I'm not going to get into the whole 365 versus this. I'm just going to look at it as that issue and kind of exactly what Bryan said. This character is awesome. Miguel O'Hara is awesome. And for that reason alone, I think this book is a props. It's a 90s book, so there's probably was a few 100,000 produced. But, I think that this character is going to be getting a lot more love. I think this character is going to be getting exposed to more of the mainstream outside of the, hardcore comic book fans when Across the Spider-Verse comes out. They didn't bring Oscar Isaac in just for a quick cameo. Sorry. They didn't bring. He probably is going to have more of a role in the next film, so I expect that to happen. I think this is straight up props. So again, love to hear what y'all think, props or flops on that one. But we will be moving on to the next one, Chris. Your second most interesting book from this list.
All right, guys. We had some DC, we had some indie, but man, just some of these Marvel books got to be talked about. My number 2 pick, Secret Wars #1. And of course, this is the 2015 series. First off, let's just look at the numbers straight away. 203% upward trend in sales when it hit the top 10 last week with a $250 9.8 high CGC sale. This week, $200 9.8 high. That's a 20% decrease, but as I always say, don't get caught up in just one or two sales. Not a lot of these graded books out there, to be quite honest. So again, that's why I say $50 is a large amount, 20%, but it could have just been a matter of one or two people being on eBay at that point in time. So, but this is definitely more telling. Last week's average raw when it hit the top 10, $6. This week's average raw, 20. That's a 233% increase right there. And for a modern book, where a lot of higher grades, that speaks volumes. But look at this. 39 units were sold in last week. That's why it hit the top 10. 39 units were sold online. 29 of those were from mycomicshop.com. Most of them for $4. So, and if you go to mycomicshop.com, there's none available. this is what I think is happening with this book and why the high raw is now up to $20. And remember, excuse me, not high raw, average raw. Because all of those books sold out from mycomicshop.com, where you had a set buy it now price of $4. And now you have people, their only other option now is going on to eBay and bidding. So when you go to my comic shop, you don't have to get into a fear of missing out. You don't have to get into any type of reactionary decision making. Look, there's a purchase price. I'm going to put it in my cart and buy it at that price. Now you have an auction. And again, people get into their emotions. People get into that reactionary fight or flight. So for a book that, well, maybe mycomicshop.com just needs to restock their website. Now, before they can even do that, you have people going on eBay and bidding up a $4, $5, $6 book up to $10, $15, $20. So what am I saying here? Does it mean that, like, you know, that's not organically done? I can't argue that, because nobody's essentially manipulating the market. People are just making purchasing decisions in a different type of atmosphere with different variables at stake. And that's going to drive that book up. And of course, the reason why I believe this book was already selling the previous week was because people came out of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. You know, you get spoiler, you know, not a big spoiler. We all should know now that, you know, Mr. Fantastic showed up. That's all I'll say. And we know the Fantastic Four is coming. And we know that they play a big role in this Secret Wars, and also the multiverse plays a big role in this Secret War. So people are already looking, hey, let's look to that next best thing. Buying this book for $4, $5, $6 even, $7, $8 even maybe. It's not bad. It's not a bad spec book. It's very low risk. You're not paying a bunch of money, and it is what it is. Props or flops? I do think that they're going to do Secret Wars at some point. And Jeff, we talked about this before, and I made the statement multiple times. I think the Secret Wars that we see on screen is going to be a combination of the 1984 Secret Wars and the 2015 Secret Wars. I think Doom and Beyonder are going to be key players. I think the multiverse is going to be very relevant. But I would not pay $250 or $200 for this book at a 9.8, but that's just me. But I'll give this book props. I will give this book props, because while I've been very, very skeptical about our fight or flight craziness, call it FOMO or whatever, this book it's not selling for crazy amounts. Now, I'm very cautious about it selling for an average of $20, though, guys. This is what I would say. And this is why I almost gave this book flops. For it to go from a $6 average to a $20 average is very volatile for me. And I would honestly stay away from it right now, because I don't think we're going to get any type of real announcement of Secret Wars or anything for a while. So let my comic shop stock up. You know, maybe it won't be for $4 anymore. Maybe it'll be $6, $7, or $8. Go to your LCSs. Go to Mercari. Hang out in some whatnot sales. Ask them if they have any Secret Wars #1s. Go to your Facebook group forums. Don't just go and get into an emotional bidding war on eBay. But look, this is a modern book. I don't think, even if we get a Secret Wars #1, or even if we get a Secret Wars in the MCU, I don't expect this book to be $100, $200 book raw, ever, necessarily. I mean, look at Infinity Gauntlet and Infinity Wars when we knew that the Infinity Saga was happening. They have intrinsic value already, but those movies didn't do too much. I mean, they ebbed and flowed, and now Infinity Gauntlet especially is definitely increasing in value, but that's a 30-year-old book with a lot more intrinsic value outside of a book that's only 7 years old. So I'm going to give this prop because I do think a lot more eyes are going to be on this book. There's going to be a lot more demand on this book. I definitely think this story is going to be pulled into the MCU, but with me giving it props, I just have to say, be very careful. There's so many near mint copies of this out there that you could probably find right now for under $20. That's why I would completely stay away for buying this book in a 9.8, but hey.
Bryan.
Gosh, we've been talking a lot about this book lately, about the series lately. Just like everybody else, I think it's a great series, but I agree there's so many copies. What, like 500,000 is the estimated print run on that #1, which is bonkers. So many variants for this series. If you look at this series, it's a 9-issue series, and there are, I don't know, at least 100 covers. Maybe I'm going crazy there. It's probably like 60 covers.
I think they did 50 variants. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. If I was going to spec on this book, the way I would spec on this book is, and I've talked about this on the shows, one, grab those second print Alex Ross Virgin variants. One, because we're comic fans to begin with, and if you're not a fan of those beautiful covers, then there's a problem. Those are gorgeous, and they're probably on the lower print run if you're into rarity and that type of stuff. But there are also some really good variants out there for that series, and ultimately, though, I give it a prop because I agree. I think Secret Wars is coming at some point. It's just so far down the road. But again, we're comic fans. And guess what? Where do comic fans go to get their comics? They should be going to their local comic shop if they have one. And I guarantee you're going to find these in your local comic shops.
Yeah, no doubt, because they were overly produced. Guys, I am not going to agree with you. I'm giving this book flops. And here's why. I agree, too. I think Secret Wars will be coming down the road. I think they are working towards that. I think probably 90%, well, not 90, that's probably too high, but I'd say 75% of comic book fans that, are diehard watchers of the MCU also believe that, too. I'm giving it flops because here's the deal. In terms of a long-term spec value, it will only be in name. This is such a convoluted story to adapt something like this straight from the source material. I don't see it. I don't.
Well, Chris made a great point that you guys were talking earlier about this book, and he mentioned that there's going to be some type of amalgamation between the two series, and I agree 100% on that. That's what Marvel's MO is. They've showed us that in the last couple of years, and here's the thing: who was that character that's so influential in both series? Doom, and we need Doom to be brought into this MCU universe somehow. And if they bring Doom in by him showing up to beat the Beyonder in some way, and then by him beating Beyonder, he gets that power, and there you go. There's your story. So I think. Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. Go ahead. No, you're good. That's where I was ending. I would think that would be, a great way to play it off, but it's so far away.
It's so far away. But I would take. I would. You know what? I do like the idea. Maybe the Beyonder would be a part of this as well. I would take that $250 that somebody paid a 9.8. I would put that towards Doom and Beyonder books, to be honest with you.
Yeah,
I wouldn't touch this. I wouldn't. I mean, if I see it in a bookshop for $5, sure, I would pick it up. I mean, you're right. The Alex Ross covers alone are gorgeous. But again, if you guys are looking to put your kids through college off of this book, once Secret Wars comes out, I mean, look at the Infinity Sagas, all those 90s books. When we had Infinity Wars or an Endgame, so I got to give it flops. I'm sorry. I'm not apologizing. I'm not sorry.
I know.
Right? Yeah, no. Yeah, but and again, but see, and I know this is how I approach the show. Like, I give clear specifications on why I give something props or flops, and I pick it apart because I always say I just gave props to 2 books that I said I wouldn't buy in a 9.8. So if I was to sit here and simply have the graded market, the current graded market, dictate my opinion on props or flops, I'd probably give 99.9% of the books that are on these lists flops. But I think for me, it's more of, why is this book hot? Why is it moving units? Yes, let's look at what it's doing. Let's look at what the price is doing. But how can we be good? Can I give this book props just in terms of why we want to spec on it? And then can we be smart collectors and maneuver around that to where there's low risk involved? So that's why I try to clarify. I'm giving this book props, but I'm not telling you to go out and buy these graded books. And just to what Bryan said, there's probably over 50% of the comic shops in the United States right now. You could probably go into their back issue bins and find this book for cover price, $5, $6, $8, even maybe in high grade, and save money than getting into a bidding war on eBay. So, and again, Jeff, I'm not saying this to discredit your take. I love that we're having these different perspectives and opinions here, but I just want to make it very clear to those watching too. There's very, very precise specifications on what I talk about when I give props or flops. And I think at the end of the day, what we all three of us probably agree on is that there's so many of these books out there. And if you think that this book is ever going to be an extremely high valued book, you're probably lying to yourself, or you're just not educated on it. But if it's fun, like, there's a couple of things, and then I'll say this and we'll move forward. If you want it for yourself, there's a lot riding there too, because the MCU can do something amazing with this. And just to have a copy of this in your PC, if you could get it for under $10, that's going to be freaking amazing to have and to tell your kids about. Secondly, there is spec value in terms of if you want to be a reseller or you want to flip. If you could still find these for, even under $10, it might get to a point where when we get that announcement, look, if we could come out of Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness and say, well, what's that next thing coming? Probably Secret Wars. And then we're going and paying $20, $25, $30 for this book. I can imagine that if we actually get an announcement or a poster or a trailer or something, this book in a small window of time, raw, might hit $50, $60, $75, and then you can sell them off right there. But then, of course, that's probably not going to last for long. Dip back down to a $20 book.
It's that small window of time. And just to be clear, I know you were not saying props on a $250 9.8. You were just,
I know. Yeah.
Just you guys are giving props.
All context.
Both you guys are giving props on the actual book, but I know both of you would not spend $250 for a 9.8.
No, not on that. That's for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you guys would take that $250 and move it somewhere else.
You know what I would buy? You know what I would spend on a 9.8? And I don't even know if the market is at $250 for this book. I would rather spend $250 on a 9.8 Secret Wars number 12, where Doom takes the power of the Beyonder, and it's got that sick Doom cover.
Yeah, the one where the
speculating.
Yep. I wonder what that Jim Chung 1 in 100 9.8 would sell for. For that issue.
For issue 1.
Yeah, for issue 1. I wonder what that's going to sell for in the next couple of weeks. I'm not thinking recently, but in the next couple of weeks, if that gets up to like a $500 book. If not, I would rather, if I was going to buy an issue of that number 1, it'd either be one of the cool variants or the 1 in 100 ratio Jim Chung book. But there's also probably 5,000 of those out there, so you got to think about that too.
Absolutely. All right, here we go. We're going to move on to this third book, this final book off the top 10 list and props or flops, top 10 look back. Chris, what do you got?
All right, guys. Again, like I said, I feel so bad because I feel it's just this last like month plus, it's been all Marvel.
I know, man. It really has.
Hey, my number 1 is the number 1 on the top 10. Fantastic Four, 245. First appearance of Avatar, Franklin Richards in his adult version. This book, man, it definitely has shot up here with a 294% upward trend in sales last week when it hit the top 10 with a high 9.4 sale of $144. No 9.8 sales last week or this week. No other 9.4 sales either. No other graded sales either. There are 9.8s on the census. I looked. I think there's like I'm going to say like under 60. I don't know. Last week's average raw when it hit the top 10, $12. This week's average raw, 23. That's a 92% increase in value right there. So more to gauge there instead of just looking at the one 9.84 sale with nothing to compare it to. I think people are speculating on this book too, of course, because of Multiverse of Madness, thinking that when we get the Fantastic Four, we can get some type of iteration of Franklin Richards. Definitely relatable to the multiverse. Oh, man. Look, again, I got to say with this book too, first off, any Bronze Age book, especially Marvel book, is going to give me more hope, you know, in general than like, so just say a modern book or something like that, or an overly mass-produced book from the 90s. Like, I can look at these books, even if they're more, you know, you can consider this maybe just a minor key, you know, that, and this book had some attention. If you look back and look at the numbers, you got to go back like to before COVID to find it, to see this book is like a $4 book. So even over the last couple of years, this book raw was selling for, there's a ton of sales anywhere between $5 to $10, and even some probably higher grade raw sitting above the $10 mark. So it's not like a flash of light overnight. It's been there. But do I give this book props or flops? Oh man, it's still lower risk. You're not seeing this book sell for 9.8s, but who knows? Maybe just nobody's putting 9.8s up on the market, so you can't really gauge it. Because you know how we see these 9.8s going for $300, $500, and you're like you just said, Jeff, I'd rather take that money and put it to some more solidified key it has precedent of, you know, holding on the market. This is a tough one for me because we just talked about all little things of why I could give it props or flops. I'm going to give this book flops. I'm going to give this book flops overall because, for one, we don't have enough recent graded sales on the market. If we did, I'm going to assume that if we had when this book got hot, if we actually had a 9.8 sale, I'm going to assume that it probably would have been something that I would have snickered at and been like, no way. No way. But I got to assume that. But when you look at this value of this book, remember I said it's been around for a couple years where it's got a little bit of love. That $12 average would have been okay for me. If this book made the list and that raw average didn't close to double, if it would have stayed around the same, I probably would have gave it props, because I'm always an advocate to looking at books before. Like, even though this book made the list, it's still low risk, raw. It's not too valuable. Get it before it gets hot. Get it before somebody else talks about it. Get it before there's a trailer or a rumor. Those are the proper times. And you may look at this book as being the case. And while I do agree still, go to your LCSs, folks. Go to your LCSs and find this book in the back issue bins for maybe $12 or under. But I think this book is getting too high, too fast on the online market. And it's not necessarily justified, because this is something else that is something that if it does come to fruition in the MCU, it's probably going to be a very long time. And if it is, I don't think it would have staying power. I don't think that if they brought this character in or did some type of story arc with this, it's not going to have staying power that's going to keep this book to be some type of like, that's a solidified key. I think this book is a decent spec book. If you can find multiple copies of this book in the back issue bargain bins, go ahead. I don't think this book has staying power. I think it'll always be a minor little Bronze Age key that'll be really cool to have in your collection. That will be a book over time, simply due to inflation, will continue to increase in value a little bit. But I just don't think there's anything crazy there to justify basically a doubling in price point. And like I said, I'm worried to see what would happen. And I'm going to keep monitoring this over the next couple of weeks. If these 9.8 start hitting the market and if they start going for like $400, I mean, if a 9.4, if you look at the differentiations, a 9.4, that means for what, 140 something. If a 9.6 sold, you take in the ratio, you're thinking a 9.6 is going to sell for probably at least around 220. And then you'll probably put a 9.8 for close to double that. So you're probably looking at over $400 for a 9.8. Just looking at what that 9.4 sold for, I can't justify that either.
Bryan.
Agree. That's a flop for me. I think there's way better Franklin Richard books out there to spec on if you want to spec on it. And here's the other thing. For the longest time, to me, that era of Fantastic Four books and for a long time in front of it are a skip. That's a skip for me. Especially spec wise. Yeah, there's great stories in there, but man, I'm not a fan of that Fantastic Four era. I'm not a fan of that book. I'm a fan of the character. I'd rather put money into the first issue of Power Pack. I'd much rather put money into that. I'd much rather put money into, instead of buying a 9.8 of that, go buy a Raw annual number 6, Fantastic Four annual number 6.
Absolutely.
You get 2 for 1 in that. You get a Nihilus in that. So
yeah, that's a huge one.
Yeah, flop for sure.
Are you going to let me off the hook if I say props just because it's John Byrne?
I know, right? Awesome cover.
Or do I have to? Do I have to really? Here's the deal, guys. The whole Franklin Richards thing. I just use the words convoluted for Secret Wars, right? This whole Kang thing is convoluted. Like, honestly. So, like, for me to kind of, again, this is fair to say, Chris. I think most of the time we do this top 10 look back props or flops. Most of the time we say flops to those 9.8s, right? I wouldn't pay this at a 9.8. I mean, obviously we want you guys to do whatever you feel you need to with your money. If it's worth that much to you, then for sure, we would never dog you for that. But like, I wouldn't pay over $400 for this issue. No, I pay $15 for this issue because I love John Byrne. But in terms of Kang and Franklin Richards, shit is convoluted, super convoluted. And you don't know which way they're going to go in the multiverse. And if you're looking for a long-term hold, thinking that like Franklin Richards is going to be the next Thanos, in terms of a phase, I wouldn't, I don't know. That's my thought process on that. So my love for John Byrne is really making this difficult, but I would say it's a flop on this one as well.
I feel like we're starting to spec out so far ahead.
Yeah, you're right.
It's close. It's getting very close to ruining. No, I shouldn't say ruining the spec game for me, but it gets me so much more cynical about spec when we're specking that far ahead.
It does
on not A-list characters. I should say that.
I understand, but it's also kind of fun too, especially when we talk about with where this hobby has come in terms of the movie business propping it up, right?
Yeah.
And the fact that the three of us in the 90s were on the edge of our seats for any word of any sort of TV show, cartoon, or holy shit, an actual fucking film.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? To here we are right now. We can't keep up with all of the announcements. We can't keep up with all of the spec. But I understand, Bryan. I understand what you're saying, how you can get cynical with this, and it kind of taints things to a degree. But at the same time,
I think there's a middle ground here, because I think, and Bryan, don't let me speak for you, but let me know if this is kind of, when you talk about it ruining things, spec it so far out, it may be that we're looking at how we're specking in terms of how much we are putting into it in terms of our emotions and the monetary value.
Yes,
because
100%.
Because I think what Jeff's trying to say, and this is for me too. That's why I said it's like, why do you wait for a rumor or an announcement or a trailer to go buy a book and spend $300 on it when you could have bought it for $20 2 days ago or a year ago? Or, so for me, I think specking so far out is a good thing as long as we're not following that same behavior of, oh my God, it's still that fear of missing out. It's still that you know, and it's that like rush, me, you know, trample, like when the new Jordans come out and everybody's got to trample. Can you imagine? That would be like, you know, that a Jordan, and this is probably going to be a horrible analogy, but I mean, just imagine there's a Jordan shoe that that's coming out, you know, 6 months from now, but and you go and run to the and you know that maybe you could pre-order them for $200. I don't know, but imagine you going to like a Foot Locker store and like ripping open the doors and like going in there like Hulk and then like throwing $1,000 on the table like, I want my Jordans. 6 months from now, I want them. And the guy at Foot Locker's like, dude, like, you can go on the website and pre-order it for $200. Like,
yeah. I've seen a lot of people in the comments mention that this is a book that you can find in dollar bins. This is a book that you can find in the Fantastic Four back issue bins for, you know, $5 in your local comic store. It's nice that we get to spec so early, but not that people are specking so putting so much into it right now, because there's going to be waves on this character. This character, we were just talking about God Emperor Doom coming and how far off that is. So there's going to be waves. This book will drop down to another, you know, it'll be $5 again in another couple of months, and then it'll get hot again. So I don't know. Again, specking on spending $400 or $500 in a 9.8 for this is a lot. It's a lot.
Yeah, we're all on the same page with this one. By the way, I just had to try and find something. The Cabbage Patch shortage of the 80s was insanity, but I Googled that and this is what I found. I don't know.
Furbies, yeah.
They're going fucking crazy for whatever it is. So that's what you're talking about, Chris.
Yeah. But the analogy of that guy could have pre-ordered it, just like what Bryan just said. It's like we're flocking to eBay, like gimme. You know, when you could simply take a walk to your LCS or get in your car and be like, and then if it's not there, then maybe you go to eBay and pay a couple dollars more or something. I don't know.
100%. Hey, I got a few things to say here. Oh, those are Furbies, by the way.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Did you guys know that? I didn't know that. That is hilarious.
My mom bought one of those when I was a kid. When I was a teenager, and I thought it was the creepiest thing I'd ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say your mom was in this picture.
No.
Good call, Karkham. By the way, Karkham had another good call because I did not think this would happen. I love you, but it's hard to listen to you when you got Fantastic Four behind you. That's right. It is. I've never seen this film, but the three of us were like, you know what? We got to do it. We have not done this one yet. So that's what it is. Karkham, man. Good job on that. By the way, just want to say hi to Kid Collect. We haven't seen you in years, it feels like.
Yep. I think he's like a grown adult now.
Probably is. He's graduated college.
No, I think he's going into his senior year next year, though.
Yeah. And Chris, right there, that ends it right there. The top 10 look back props or flops. Everybody, thank you so much for kind of contributing your opinions on all of these books. We do appreciate that. It is fun. And again, these are just our opinions. If these books are worth it to you and you want to spend that money, we are not here to knock you. We're just giving our opinions. That's it. So that's all I have to say.
Amen.
All I have to say. All right, people, moving on. Bryan, you are a guest co-host on this show, right?
Amen.
I hope you're proud of that fact.
I am. I'm super stoked. I couldn't be more stoked.
Because I hope you take pride in the responsibilities bestowed upon you.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah, it's coming. It is coming. Because, Chris, we do this segment each and every week, and I just pretend like I can't remember it, and you have to let's just do the whole spiel. Chris, I don't remember.
Well, I could call it fresh from the garage sale, but there were comics there, so I still can say that we are fresh from the comic shop.
Fly from the press and salon. That is right. Each and every week, we ask you, the audience, to share your fresh gets with us on Instagram. And boy, do you all come through, because it is Wow, there are a lot. There are a lot, and this is why what makes this segment so fun is that you guys are all participating in it. And on top of that, you could win amazing prizes. That's right. EGS is a sponsor of this segment, giving away these amazing, amazing slabs. And Chris, we're just going to get right into it before we start. Let's talk about EGS real quick.
EGS, guys. Yes, if you didn't know, you can submit your fresh gets, via hashtag FFTCS, and you can have a chance to win an awesome EGS slab comic. What do we, and today's the last day, right, Jeff, for this one?
We're going to pick the final, the last semifinalist this week.
For this month's giveaway.
In a few days after that.
Yep. So what do we got for this month?
What do we got? Look at this beauty.
Man, look at that. Look at that beautiful King.
Spawn. Number one variant.
Yep.
Look at how gorgeous that is. And Chris, tell us what makes EGS so special and different from their competitors?
Well, we'll get into that. First off, I do want to remind you guys the way you can win and get entered. You want to submit your fresh gets to us on Instagram like you always do. But in order to be entered into win the slabs, you have to follow EGS on Instagram at EGS Comics. You got to subscribe to their YouTube, and those links are below. All right. And then you could do that and submit your fresh gets. But let's talk a little bit more about EGS as well to get a little familiar with them and to learn how to save a little bit on your orders. But EGS is a third-party grading company similar to your CGCs and CBCSs. They offer custom labels unlike anyone else, but I always have to remind people, it's not just about the custom label, folks. They have their universal certified labels as well. But Jeff, let's bring up how they can order and save right there 5% off of your order with EGS. And you guys can see more sample size of what they do have to offer there. But again, EGScomicsgrading.com, that link is below. You can get 5% off of your order using the code Cannon5. So check them out, guys. Oh, fast turnaround times and free graders notes, even on 9.8s.
Absolutely. They are differentiating themselves from their competitors, and we are here for it. All right. Here's the deal, though. Y'all are submitting your fresh gets, and y'all want to be entered to win these amazing slabs. But there's some things you need to consider. We have criteria here where our guest co-hosts have to decide on a semifinalist. That's you, Bryan. That's you. What we look for in submissions each and every week. Presentation, guys. Give us a well-composed shot. Get artistic with it. Have fun. Be creative. Think outside the box. Just don't post the book up on a table and take a picture. Connect it to some things with the themes and all that good stuff. Have fun is the most important thing. Second, unique books always do well. And a unique book doesn't mean it's like outrageously expensive, like $100,000. A unique book you can find in a 50-cent bin. It could be a book you've never seen before, which means a book we may never have seen before as well. Those are fun too. But this one right here weighs heavily. Give us a story. What this book means to you and why. Pull on our heartstrings because that'll go far for you. I promise you that. All right. We got some, we're going to do some rehashing. Is that the word I want to use here? Rehashing, looking back on a few things here because Dan De La Torre made it to the semifinals, but unfortunately Dan De La Torre did not make it to the finals. That is right. We had Dan De La Torre's John Carter versus Neighbor to the North Transformers. And it looks like Optimus Prime won out. Dan, great work on
Good job,
that.
Dan.
We appreciate you. So Neighbor to the North will be going up against our finalists that we will determine this week as well. And that we have the semifinalists from this show will be going up against Super Rad right here, as y'all remember it with his fantastic score. Look at Against the Rocks. It is just a nice, well-composed shot, guys. And it ties into the book because, the thing he's got rocks, his skin of rocks. By the way, he's in the background here right now. Hold on. Look at this. Look at that gorgeous. All right, we're going to move on here. I have an announcement to make, guys, and you're going to hold it against me. Bryan, you're going to be like, shame on you. I'm a better co-host than you are. You will. I did not have time to go to my comic book shop this week, so I do not have any fresh gets. So it'll be you and Chris showing off live your 3 fresh gets, but I'm excited to see what you got, Bryan. Absolutely. All right. Here we go. We're gonna start off we're gonna start this off with Carcom US, the man or woman. I'm sorry, I don't know what you identify as, but you got the Fantastic Four right. So my
internet, and sometimes we just don't know.
We just don't know. We don't want to assume anything at all. We got Carcom US with Marvel Zombies Marvel Zombies Volume 1, number 1, second print, Death of Magneto, Earth 2149. First appearance of Silver Surfer, Earth 2149. A lot going on with this book. A lot of people are excited about this book. You got Marvel Zombies, the cartoon, coming to Disney Plus, and Carcom is a man. Thank you. And I guess Jenny's Comics, I am a posser, people. I am a posser. I don't know what that means, but I am
poser. I think maybe meant poser.
I'm pretty sure. I just wanted to point out it says posser. All right, good work there, Carcom US. We got next up, Comic Toby 420. Say hello to my little friend. His name is Twig, a new wondrous adventure about an underdog. Twig number 1, available now in variant covers. Sounds like you're working for the producers of Twig. Good stuff there, Comic
I like
Toby.
it.
We got Cover Junkie Comics. I always played this. I haven't played it in a while. Chris, is it a Doom cover?
It's Doom.
No, completely wrong.
Damn it, Louis Logics.
Oh, fresh from the comic shop with Batman 92, the first cover appearance of Punchline. I snatched the 1 in 25 variant because it's just Punchline on the cover. She deserves a spotlight. There's a lot of talk about her getting some sort of series on HBO Max. We shall see about that. Moving on. Son of Comics. Showing off some DC love here. Dark Knights of Steel, number 1, Devil Dogs Comics Edition. First appearance of Bruce L. Tom Taylor is killing the story, and Cal Nagu has done it again with another killer cover. Tom Taylor is incredible, by the way. I have to say that. All right, Brian, you are a guest co-host, so guests go first. What do you got? What's your first fresh get of the week?
I love nostalgia. I love the era that we grew up in. I was telling the guys before earlier on the backstage, and so I'm big on stuff from the 80s and the 90s that I loved when I was a kid that got me into this hobby. And I picked up this amazing Action Force from Britain, England, and this is number, let's see here, I don't even know what number this is the holiday special. And really badass Snake Eyes cover. And I love these Action Force. For those of you guys that don't know, they called the G.I. Joe Action Force in Britain. And they printed them in magazine size. And they're the first ones aren't in the greatest type of paper, but they did really well towards the later end of the run. And really, really cool stuff. But look at the back. Doesn't that take you back to being a kid?
Come on.
Nice.
Right? Come on. I love it. Oh, my God.
So that's my one pickup that I really love. And then here's another nostalgia one that I picked up.
Hold on.
Okay.
One at a time, Brian. What are you trying to do? He's trying to take over the show. I wish we could kick him off or past that point. Damn it. One at a time. All right, that's good. Those awesome. Bring me back. I remember those and like being so excited, but I was wait, it's so much bigger than a regular comic book. I don't. Anyways, but I still loved everything G.I. Joe. Everything G.I. Joe, man.
Yeah.
God. I was
Grant Morrison got his early start in this.
Who did?
Grant Morrison.
Really? I didn't know
he
that.
did some stuff, early stories in Action Force. I think it's number 8. It's a quick kick cover. So be on the lookout for that.
That is super cool. I was explaining to my daughter, one of my favorite toys was the F-14, the Tomcat with Ace.
Oh my
God,
I was explaining
to her that had the parachute. She's 6. She's like, how did it? There was a real parachute, and then I tried explaining the aircraft carrier, which was like the holy grail of all toys back in the day, which I never.
Yeah, about 6 feet from me is the Sky Striker with original box. It's got 2 original parachutes on it, all original parts. Yeah, man, I'm into the old school G.I. Joes. I love them.
So great, man. All right, this isn't, but again, we're starting to become more about you than about the audience. We've got to get back to it. I apologize because I could talk G.I. Joe to you all day. We got Comic Demon we owe you a winning slab from, I guess it was April. Yeah, because he had that 420 submission. This week, showing off some indies. Here's my new comics from last week's haul. A lot of sick covers, plus looking forward to some readings. We got that Red Room. I've heard a lot of crazy things about Red Room. That's good stuff. Good stuff indeed right there. Union Josh Comics. Speaking of the UK, Union Josh, I do believe lives over there. I got a fresh from the comic shop for you this week. By the way, this is very cool. Alongside a midweek Moon Knight, after getting tagged in a post last week by my boy Mark's Marvelous Comics, I saw the book he posted, so I had to go on the hunt to find a copy myself. Spider-Man and Hulk Weekly, issue 399 from October 1980, the first UK comic appearance of Moon Knight. This book predated Moon Knight #1 by a month. This is a UK magazine size book, and one people may not be familiar with. It has no cover in the traditional sense, but uses the same paper as the interior. That's crazy. A fantastic book for display, and a book that speaks to a UK boy like myself, as it's part of UK comic history and my favorite character of all time. Absolutely going on the wall to display in all its glory. That is a unique book, guys.
Yeah,
no doubt. Such a great story. That is really cool, Union Josh. Thank you for sharing that with us. Christopher, what is your first fresh get of the week?
All right, guys. This is from our previews order. You guys know me when it comes to variants. If I can get a beautiful variant cover at cover price, or actually cheaper because I get 35% off, that's how I like to buy variants. And Inyuk Lee just be killing. And I know that this was, I think this made the cover price a couple weeks back, but I know everyone's seen it, but I had to get it. Silk #4 Inyuk variant.
That is incredible. That is a great cover. Good stuff, Chris. That is good stuff indeed. People are still talking about the aircraft carrier, by the way. Yeah, Joe Eric. Bryan, did you ever have that?
That's the one G.I. Joe thing I never had. G.I. Joe were such a big part of my life. I literally had so many of the every G.I. Joe thing that you can think of, minus the aircraft carrier and the shuttle.
Oh, the space shuttle. That's right. Yeah. Between me and my brother, we probably had 80% of the G.I. Joes.
Same way. Yeah.
We didn't have my brother, same thing. We didn't have either of those, but man, I love those G.I. Joes. All right, moving on. We got Comic Hunter 73. That's right, Comic Hunter 73. Savage Sword of Thursday, he says, or she says, for Marvel at Marvel 780, Assassin's Creed Valhalla 3 from Dark Horse Comics. It's also kind of fresh from the comic shop for Union Josh, as I got it last week. Fair enough indeed. We like seeing what you get there. Comic Hunter 73. We like your reviews even better. I'll tell you that right now. Marvel Man 616. Well, this is timely. She-Hulk #1. He's got 2 issues of those. Though, honestly, man, these are due. Guys, these are due. These books are absolutely due. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying. All right. If you want to know a piece of history, Bryan, you listen to Mark Leneker. We already listened to Union Josh. That was a fantastic piece of history. Mark Leneker has already won fresh from the comic shop. He's not eligible to win as of right now. Chris and I may rewrite the rules. TBD, everybody. Hold your horses. But Mark Leneker here. Look at this. Vault of Horror #40 from 1955. Last issue and the second to last EC horror issue released. There's an editorial in the comic asking readers to write their representatives and let their voices be heard. The cover is by EC artist Johnny Craig. Reminds me of the time I met a vampire. Ended up with a souvenir, as you can see. I think I may have missed some of his copy here, but basically the reason they asked to write the representatives was because it was, they were implementing the Comics Code Authority, which had the most asinine rules possible. So I apologize, Mark. You had more to this write-up, and I probably cut that out by accident. But Mark Leneker knows his stuff, and it's always exciting to see what he has. All right. Speaking of seeing what you got, Bryan, you were so eager to show us your second pick. You almost just took over, and that's not fair to everybody else. What do you got?
All right. This is another nostalgia central. Growing up in the 80s, skateboarding was, something every kid did. And Santa Cruz Santa Cruz. Loved old school Santa Cruz. And this is Thrasher Comics #2 with that great Santa Cruz eyeball.
Oh, dude.
Yeah. So
you are
very,
bringing
very
the nostalgia. You were not joking when nostalgia was big for you.
I literally, no joke, all 3 of these books were picked up this week at other than this one at my local comic shop. So
that is fantastic, man. Good stuff.
I'll be headed to Santa Cruz in a couple months, and we're bringing our skateboards.
Amen.
Yeah, take care of that knee, Chris. Take care of that knee before you do that. All right. 630 Collectibles. We owe you an apology. When you have, as he or she says, when you have the opportunity to buy books like these in high grade and it's within your budget, we all pretend was the case for me. You got to go for it. I need to clear the air on something. Last week, I was accused of being the bizarro version of 360 Comics and didn't have the chance to respond on the canon. Well, here's my response. Much respect to 360, but my name actually comes from the area code 630, pronounced 630. So get it straight, people. Anyways, here's my Fresh from the Comic Shop submission. We apologize. You are not the bizarro of anybody. You are you. We were just making, just pointing out that you had the same numbers as Joe did from 360 Comics. So good stuff. We got Nori Jordan. Loves his Thunderbolts. Loves them. Fresh from the Comic Shop. I wanted to get creative, but when you're out of town all week, you go with what you know. Thunderbolts. Now that I have completed my my volume 1 run, it's time to wrap things up in volume 2 and volume 3, which is pretty much variant covers. I picked up a hard to find variant from volume 2, number 3, more volume 1, number 1s. Jeez Louise. Up to 38. He's got 38 between direct, newsstand, and second prints of number 1s and a few other books. The journey continues. New Thunderbolt series next week. Wow. That is commitment.
That's more books than I have of Warlock and the Infinity Watch number 1.
Huge commitment, Chris. Speaking of commitment, what do you got for your second pick of the week?
Okay. This one, I got to give a big shout out to Freddie from Elk Grove, if he's watching. So I did a video today showing off what I picked up. I almost was a victim of a bait and switch. I'll be doing a video about that, doing the business tip, trying to find collections and everything. I checked Craigslist. I found a garage sale. This guy at Comics, his name's Freddie. If you guys are ever in the area, check out Craigslist on the weekends. He does his thing. But he knew who I was. It's like, man, love the channel. And he hooked it up. And I got, some stuff to sell, but there's obviously some stuff for my PC. And this was
hold on, just to address Karkam's comment there.
Oh, I will. Believe me. Believe me. It ain't this.
We gotta give Bryan the background on that, unless he may already know.
All right, we got Hulk, some Silver Age Hulk 104. Hulk versus the Rhino, man.
Nice.
So that was really cool to find. This guy, like I said, he was really awesome. And I basically filled up a short box, and he gave me an amazing deal. And this is one I don't have, obviously.
Chris, is it possible that's the first time Hulk and Rhino met?
Could be, but I do not know that off the top of my head.
You need to look that up, because that's a 12 center right there.
Mm-hmm.
That's something I'm quite interested in. That's good stuff. Yeah, everybody's really liking that. Excellent. You can't win, Chris. Sorry though. Moving on. All right, the next two submissions, Bryan, they have both won as well. They are not eligible. They're married too, by the way, and they have won on separate months. They continue to just deliver just excellent submissions. Here we go. We got Tommy Boy Collections. Well, what the heck? Where the hell is he? Oh no! I'm gonna have to.
No,
how did that not get uploaded? Everybody, Chris, can you look up Tommy Boy? It's the Nomad. Yep. We'll go to April. I don't know how that's not there. That doesn't make any sense. We got his wife, April X Visions, posted this Avengers 187 before Raw, but now I have it slabbed thanks to Tommy, along with my Scarlet Witch pop. It's quite interesting, though. She does not mention the adorable dog behind the pop and the great book. We love your submissions, guys. Absolutely, keep bringing it in. Tommy boy, do we got it? Thank you, Chris. Not only is he a comic book collector, he's a car collector. Or they both are car collectors. This week's pickup Nomad #1, cool 90s cover to match at April ZF. Very cool. 1960 Impala Nomad wagon. Cool cars and comics is what we collect.
Beautiful.
Hey, I mean, seriously, they are awesome. We love your submissions right there. Thank you, Chris, for finding that. I can always count on you. C to the G. What do you got, C to the G?
Ooh.
Nice. That is nice right there. Less than a week away till this series starts. We haven't even mentioned this. Oh, my God. I'm so hyped. 2 episodes on Friday of Obi-Wan. That's me speaking. I stopped reading C to the G. Less than a week away till the series starts. Hopefully the leaks don't turn out to be true. Regardless, I can't wait to see Obi-Wan duel Vader again. Marvel Comics, Star Wars, Obi-Wan #1, plus the 1 in 10 photo variant. AOK'd from my homie KP Bonez. Blessed. You definitely are. Chris, C to the G is 1 before, right?
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
That's fire, man.
Great.
Yeah.
Great submission right there. This is one, guys. We have not seen the bearded one submit. He's here. Bottom tier collector. He's here in the chat. He has not submitted in months, at least months. Bottom tier, let us know the last time. He's bearded one here. Here's my fresh from the comic shop submission this week. The still partial origin of Wolverine. Won it for $13, uncontested on eBay. And if you squint real hard, there's no glare on my pops. And the background doesn't look like my childhood closet I stuffed my collection into while I'm in between homes. I think this picture's great. This is a well-composed shot. I like how the pops relate to the book. And it's a great book. Just a great book. So for $13, are you kidding me? I mean, that book is going to, mutants are coming. That means Wolverine is coming. That means we'll probably delve into his origin.
Iconic run.
I mean, seriously, Barry Windsor Smith, people. If you don't know, you should. Okay? All right. We'll move on right there. 2. Bryan, your third and final get of the week. What is it? What do you got?
So one of the main things that I collect is creator firsts. I love first professional works. I love, like when Frank Miller first draws Daredevil, or Todd McFarlane first draws Spider-Man, or Capullo first draws Spawn, that type of stuff. But I like their first professional works also. And this is a pickup from the local comic shop. Shout out Jesse James Comics. Human Torch. This is the timely anniversary book that they did for Human Torch. Marvel did during the 70th anniversary. And it's got a beautiful Audie Granov cover. And this is the very first professional work of Scott Snyder. So,
get out of here, man.
Yeah. So
what year was this?
I will tell you. I will open it up.
70
I think it's 2009, maybe.
2011?
Let's see here.
No, he was doing Batman in 2011. I do
2009. So the book is Human Torch Comics 70th Anniversary Special #1 from 2009.
There's a lot.
Because 1939 Human Torch. That's right.
Yep.
There's a lot going on here with that book, Bryan, and the cover is it's just bringing me in.
Yeah. So one of the things that I really, really like is searching, not only trying to find out what their first professional work was, very hard for some artists and some writers out there, but then going and searching for it in comic shops. So keep that Rolodex tuned in your head for this book right here, if you're into that.
A great book, dude. Absolutely. I'm really glad you shared that. I have a question here from somebody in the audience. The Righteous Flipper, is this live with Bryan? I'm not sure if that's a trick question though. I got to think about that. We'll get back to you, Righteous Flipper, on how to answer that. I'm not sure myself. All right, moving on. Moving on. I hope you're paying attention, Bryan. Again, you have responsibilities.
I'm writing them down.
Do you remember? I just got distracted because we're here. We were talking about this, Bryan. I think we talked about it in the pre-show where you're going to appreciate one of these. You're going to just based on what we've been talking about. I think you'll like this one right here. I mean, Bobzilla has sent in some great works of art, I would say. This one is very close to topping it. He takes copy from the book. I'm gonna do my best to read this. It's not gonna make much sense because there's no context. Thanos says, "Herc," and then Doom says, "That appears untrue. The first thing you're gonna do is stop playing with Doom." Admits all the secret. Okay, this is him now. That was terrible. I'm sorry, I did not do it justice, Bobzilla, on your copy, but I tried. But Bobzilla continues to say, amidst all the Secret Wars talk that's been going on lately, I decided to throw this under the radar Secret Wars number 8 from 2015, the 1 in 25 Coker variant. A lot of the community is focused on issue 2 and the second print of issue 4, but I think this is an overlooked and undervalued book for sure. What you see above is what happens in this issue, and I think it would be dope as fuck if they had this happen, basically having Doom kill Thanos. It says, I think it'd be dope as fuck if they had this happen on the big screen in the MCU. With that said, eventually, I absolutely believe Secret Wars is coming. Happy collecting, kiddos. Note, this is inspired by No More Mutants, cape by Daredevil 19 Customs. This is it's just really cool. I don't know if you noticed, he's got the skull and the spine in hand, and then underneath that you see Thanos's leg in hand, and he's just falling on the floor. So well done, Bobzilla. I appreciate your work, and I'm sure my 2 co-hosts appreciated it as well. So next up,
he won previously with another Doom submission.
Did he?
Remember Doom on the Christmas tree?
Oh, that's right. Damn, your memory's way better than mine. And I guarantee you, Cover Junkie is a little bit jealous, but that's okay. Brian P. Meister is up next. Hey guys, went to a local con yesterday, and these are my best gets. I actually bought 2 copies of Vengeance number 1. Good work on that. I was able to flip
Daredevil
lower cost 100, very fine copy for the Ultimate Fallout 4 second print. Well done. And the Spider-Gwen number 1, which you see here. All in all, I did well. Prices were lower across the board, and dealers were knocking down prices big time. That's interesting to hear, by the way. He continues to say, inflation, at least from this con experience, is having a negative effect. But then we are talking about straight sellers here who just want to liquidate. I bought these 2 Warlock books with Journo in mind. If you don't have one of these books, let me know. I'll send it as a gift. That is very, very kind. Chris, he's talking to you. You let us know.
So
but those are some great gets right there. And it's interesting that, this is the first we're kind of delving into the whole inflation issue. We haven't really discussed it on the show.
Yeah. I did a video on that I released last week. So I dived deep into it. So
it's having an effect, Yep. It's just, yeah.
It's pretty cool that
politics or anything, but
it's pretty cool that he had that Peter Parker Spider-Man 28, which is the first time that Frank Miller drew Daredevil.
Yeah.
There you go. Are you serious? Wow.
100%. Yeah.
That is great. Gosh, we should have you on more often. We'll see.
Hey, I'm down. Hey, I thought I got hired. What's going on?
Well, we haven't sent out the contract, so there's nothing legally binding, and I apologize. I'm not sorry at all, actually. And finally, everybody, he does get a lot of camera time, but we don't see him. He gets a lot of screen time. We don't see him, a lot of camera time. Good friend of the show, Dan De La Torre.
All right.
Here's my crush from the comic shop for this week. Yep. My most sentimental favorite comic of all time, Heartstrings, is Defenders number 11. I finally landed one in a high grade, white pages. This has been an underrated book for almost 50 years and is now finally getting the love it deserves. I love his t-shirt too, the Netflix Defenders. I have never seen that t-shirt. Great book, great person. Dan, we appreciate you immensely. And that right there closes out our audience submissions. But Chris, we're going to get into your final fresh get, but this gives you time, Brian, to pick like 3 you want to share that kind of made the biggest impression on you, and then you're going to have to tell us which one the winner is. So Chris, we're going to give you some time, Brian, and right now, Chris, bring it up.
All right,
your final fresh
so get. I picked this before I even knew that Bryan was going to dive into the nostalgia idea, but I like that I picked it because it goes with that.
Smell the book. Smell the book.
What?
Smell it.
Smell it.
Oh, yeah. This is this has the cardstock type cover. So this book doesn't have the old comic book smell. It actually smells like 90 ball cards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You guys know what I'm talking about? Yep. Okay, so a lot of nostalgia for me. I got this in my previews order for my comic shop, but it was a back issue because you can add back issues to your order. I am a huge Ninja Turtle fan, and I was I ordered this like 3 months ago, but back then I was like, I need to find everything that the Ninja Turtles showed up in the 80s and 90s that I can try to get. So I purchased Usagi Yojimbo number 3 of the Volume 2 series with the Turtles appearance.
That's cool.
Yeah, that's very cool.
It seems like the light isn't catching on here.
Here we see it.
But yeah, man, I mean,
very nice.
Usagi is already super cool, but when you get both of them together, it's freaking awesome. So
that absolutely. Hey, I think the series has already been released. We haven't heard much about it, but there's that Usagi Netflix series going on right now, that cartoon series. I don't think it has Usagi in there, but it's got a descendant of Usagi or something. I'm not sure.
Exactly.
That is a great get. Hey, I just want to point something out, not calling it out, not calling this person out, but Jacob says he sent in fresh from the comic shop and he sent it to Chris. That's not how we're going to find it. You got it. You got to do the hashtag FFTCS. Chris is not going to personally be able to find that. It also doesn't hurt to also tag at Comic Book Canon, but we need to see the hashtag FFTCS. That's how we find these submissions. Just wanted to point that out. We appreciate that. So give it a try for next episode. All right, Bryan, your work it's been culminating to this, and you're in an unenviable position right now because you're going to piss a lot of people off, obviously. But here we are. This is, you're big enough to take this position, this role, and you knew what was coming. So what do you got?
All right. I do really like Comic Hunter 73's Assassin's Creed cover because I've never seen that cover, and that cover is gorgeous. Beautiful. So that is number 3 on my list.
Okay.
Number 2, I've got Bob Zilla, who did the Doom figure with that's the Marvel Legends figure of God Emperor Doom, and that gorgeous God Emperor Doom cover in the back. I really love that figure. We actually talked about that figure on my show last night, how great it is with the Sub-Zero fatality, pose, and it comes with that. I mean, that Doom figure comes with that spine, and it looks so good, so good. So I love that. But my unanimous choice, because there's only one of us voting, is Union Josh. And
there we go.
First Moon Knight British appearance or English appearance. And one of the things that I want to say that's so great about that is I love that it's a foreign book. I'm big into foreign books. I love the British books, especially. I collect a ton of these newspaper style early British comics like this and Captain Britain, the old school Captain Britain, the Action Force 2000 AD. I love those. But most importantly, how I said that I enjoy first appearances and first stuff. This reminds me a lot, and I'm going to share my screen. Can I share my screen with you?
Yeah.
Okay, so this reminds me a lot of this right here, which is another British magazine that came out. It is the Hulk magazine number 13. It has the very first Bill Sienkiewicz pro work in it, and it is a Bill Sienkiewicz Moon Knight. It is the first time he drew Moon Knight.
Get at it. Wow.
It's a very early appearance of Moon Knight in this. And so shout out to Union Josh for sparking this memory and that great pick of his get. Awesome. It's awesome.
Bryan, you brought a lot of value to this show, I have to say.
Man. Hey, man, that's what I do. Thank you. I appreciate it.
I'm very impressed with you, actually. Chris and I have to talk about this Hall of Fame situation. I think you have to retire, and it's 5 years after, but we'll We'll get into that.
We'll figure it out.
Congratulations, Union Josh. I'm impressed with this book as well. It's a unique book. It's got historical relevance.
Yeah.
Again, well done indeed. You will be going up against. This is going to be a tough one, but you, the audience, is going to vote on it. Y'all, you will be going up against Super Rad Comics. We'll get that going this week, and the winner will be going up against Neighbor to the North for the finals. So this is exciting stuff, everybody.
Awesome. Hey, I want to mention real quick to Jacob. Jacob said he did do the hashtag. What I think happened is Jacob has a private Instagram account. I just requested to follow you. If our accounts aren't following you, then we won't see your hashtags populate. So, Jeff, I'm sure we can find Jacob and follow him.
On
the Instagram.
Jacob, hit us up on the DMs in the IG, as Chris likes to say, the IG, and we'll make that happen.
Yeah, I got you, Jacob.
Everybody that does Fresh from the Comic Shop. We follow everybody, so.
Yep. So I got you, but yeah, hit up the Comic Book Canon IG, say, hey, this is me, and then we can request you, and you should be good moving forward. So.
Yep, 100%. Wow. Bryan, I think you have an announcement. I'm not sure what this is.
Well, I would like to offer up a giveaway to all the people that are watching this, either live or on the rewind. This is care of my good friend, retailer Drew at Wanted Comics. These are the Bloodstained Teeth exclusive Souza Micah books that recently came out. And I would love to give these away. And I think the best way that for me to give it away is to ask anybody that is watching the show, please leave a comment on the YouTube video after it's done being live. Leave a comment. Tell me your favorite first appearance. Okay, that'll work. You can say anything. Just comment on the video, and then come hang out at my channel Saturday night. And if you're there live, I'm going to pick a random comment from this show. And if you're live with me on Saturday night, when I pick your name and you're in the chat, you win these books. I'll send these books to you. So we got Bloodstained Teeth, #1, the Souza Micah exclusives from Wanted Comics.
Well done. Well played, Bryan. Hey, he brought even more value to this show. You honestly, you're Hall of Fame worthy. I hate to say it.
Thank you, brother.
I hate to say it because you did so terribly in your job interview. But here's the deal. Where are we with the number of subs you got on the YouTubes?
Oh, great.
Where are we?
Great question. Let's take a look.
We're winding down this show.
Yeah, we are at 800 subscribers on the dot, it looks like.
No! We could have done better than that, everybody. We got Bryan's link down below. It's as simple as clicking in the description at the Amazing with Bryan McClay. You all should be following. I'm really disappointed we're not at 805. We did say if we hit 800, we are not canceling the canon, so that's fair. But
I appreciate it more than anything, you guys.
Chris, are you disappointed?
I am, like you said, we're not canceling because we hit that original goal. But I mean,
I thought we would exceed. Like honestly, that's what we look for in our audience is to exceed.
801.
But we love you nonetheless. But Bryan, we're glad we got you over the hump to 800, 200 away from 1,000. I'm sure you're going to have an amazing giveaway for that, right?
Huge, massive, multiple, over 10 giveaways. So
nice.
Oh, geez. Okay. All right. Well, we are. God, I don't treat our guests like this. We're kind of fans of you, man. We're kind of fans of you. You're a great person. You know your shit. Please go check out the Grand Canyon. I think you'd enjoy it. It's pretty amazing looking.
Soon.
You know.
Soon. I'll let you guys know too.
Yeah,
I'll let you guys know too. I'll take a picture.
Maybe we'll have you as your second stint as a guest co-host. But I don't know, man. Do you have any final parting words for the show?
No, just that I appreciate you guys. And yeah, there is one parting word. Thank you to everybody in this community. I think that is the most important part for me. And, I imagine you guys too. I know Chris is very, very big about community and that aspect. And that is what keeps me around doing this stuff, creating content is all the people that I've met. And, it's kind of interesting that we had to evolve and have our social circles be created like this. We're all around the country and we're able to, become friends and see each other and talk to each other. And I really appreciate that. So everybody out there, thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah. I mean, Chris, we say it each and every week. We do this because of the audience. It's like literally just a party every Sunday night, sitting around talking about comic books, talking about, our knowledge, them sharing their knowledge with us, them sharing their fresh gets. That's what it's all about. We really enjoy doing this show. If you haven't already subscribed to us, please do. We hope you continue to hang out with us and talk about us. Tell your friends about us. We love to, start doing. Chris and I are going to start talking about how we can start doing things outside the box now that things are hopefully opening up a little bit more. And Chris and I maybe we'll meet in person soon.
Yeah, can you believe it? So, but
we need to figure out a con where we can all meet up, right?
Yeah, that's what Chris actually brought that idea 100%.
Yep.
Bryan is not on YouTube. Bryan is on YouTube, and Bryan is why, by the way. And the link is as easy as going down to the description below. Please follow him. Yep. He's at 801 right now. We need to get him to 805. We're not going to cancel the can, you guys, legally. We asked you and you obliged, so we can't cancel the can. Chris, parting words for this week's episode.
Oh man. Yeah, Bryan, thank you for joining. I appreciate your words. You definitely epitomize everything that you just said as well. And to everyone being here, man, this is why we do it. Let's keep pushing forward. I hope everyone has a good weekend. No show next week.
Oh, we forgot to mention that. Yes,
you did earlier, but I'm just reminding every folks. So, we got a week off, but we'll be back first Sunday of June, and we'll have another amazing EGS slab to give away for Fresh from the Comic Shop and some more awesome special guests coming on the show. So, thank you guys. Yeah,
guys,
man.
This was our, everybody looks to what their 101st episode will be. And here we are at 101, the acclaimed 101. I'm being sarcastic here. You guys are not playing with me. No, it's always great, honestly. And having people like Bryan join the show, it just grows and grows and grows. These amazing people that we've met on here the past 2 years. Chris, 2 years. Geez.
2 years.
And we love doing it. We love talking with you guys. Please continue to just, engage with us, our socials on the YouTubes. I'm super psyched. Somebody here is going to be able to win those 2 books right there. Bryan, show them one more time.
Here we go. These are, where did I put them? There we go.
Boom, right there. Simple as just leaving a comment and then showing up at Bryan's show on Saturday, correct?
You got it. Come hang out live on Saturday. I'll pick the name of the winner randomly through the power of the internet. And if you're there and you say, yeah, I'm here, they're yours.
Boom. Easy peasy. And again, we thank you all for joining each and every week. We will not be.
I'm off to school with my DuckTales lunchbox now.
DuckTales!
How about that for some nostalgia?
That's amazing.
I can hear the song playing in my head.
Yeah, I don't know why you had to show that off, but I'm glad you did. And as always, everybody, be good to yourselves. Be good to everybody else until well, I don't know. Until then, we'll see you the first weekend of June. Is that right, Chris? The first week of June.
Yep.
All right. Peace out, everybody. See you then.